You better be ready because we are live now. 2:22. Let's not all panic, folks. Let's not panic. It's not a setback. It kind of was, but it's already fixed. So let's not panic. If you don't know what that means, I announce my weight at the beginning of every live stream, and I already regret doing that. But I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to do it. And it is a pound more than it was last week. But again, not to worry, because I've made a big change. We're not going to talk about it because why are we going to waste a bunch of time on that? But I've made a large lifestyle change, and I'm actually really happy about it. So it's going to fix that problem. I tried to get you to make that lifestyle change with me, and you just wouldn't do it. So it is what it is.
I did for 2 days.
2 days she did.
2 days.
Running in the mornings, that's what I'm doing. Walking and running, but it's going to be running eventually all the way. So,
I don't run.
Anyway, welcome to the live stream, everyone. Things might look a little different tonight, and it's because I have completely given up on trying to make the lighting the way I want it. It is absolutely impossible to do with these big tanks behind us. You can't do it without having lights shine on the tanks, and then you've got these two computer screens here, and how do you light her without it overwhelming me? How do I light me without it overwhelming her? It's a disaster. So you know what? We got the regular room lights on now, and we're just going to see how that goes.
Yep.
So there it is. There's our two major announcements for today. But I do have one thing that I want to talk about here for a second before we get into the questions, and that is the possibility of us doing a bit of a time change. And part of it, admittedly, does have to do with that lifestyle change that I have made. But we're thinking about the possibility of starting this stream an hour earlier than we do now. There's a long list of reasons why we would do that. One being what I just said. Here's the deal. We go from 9 to 10:30 Eastern every single Thursday. So afterwards, I'm not going to get into personal stuff, but it takes about 3 hours before we're actually in bed ready to go. Nothing weird, folks. It's nothing like that. But it's basically when you get done working at 10:30 at night, it's hard to just go to bed.
Unwind.
So we're thinking if we can maybe start things a little earlier. Maybe we can be in bed a little earlier. We're getting old. Going to bed at 2 a.m. on Thursday nights is not good. It's not good at all. So I would love to know. I'm not looking at the chat right now because I do have a couple of questions already highlighted, people that asked questions before we started. So I don't know what you all are saying, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, the viewers, on us moving. And I guess you'll find out next Thursday whether we move it or not.
Yeah.
But another reason why we're thinking about doing it is I do get a lot of people, I'm sure you see them too, that are like, I just wish this started a little earlier. And that probably means they wish it started like 3 or 4 or 5 hours earlier. We're not going to go that far, but maybe starting an hour earlier will help some people. I know my friends on the West Coast will be starting. If we start at 8, it'll be 5 o'clock their time. I realize that's kind of early, but you know, we got to figure out what we're going to do. So it's not set in stone yet, but we are entertaining that idea. So I guess you'll find out again next week when we start. So you have anything you want to talk about before I get right on into this? You want to probably talk about those aliens, don't you?
Well, I mean, I did post some aliens because we do have more. So I put a few more on the site. There's more than that, but I, just put a few up for now.
She couldn't stop talking about those aliens until I pushed go live, and now she's all quiet. And then I get accused of never letting you talk. I try. She just doesn't want to do it. So, okay. A couple of things came in before we even started. Jeremy Sellers said, I love how helpful y'all are to us beginners. That is a huge compliment because that's exactly what we try to do. Even though some people get upset by that because they're like, I learned this in 3rd grade. Hey, that's what we try to do. Exactly. We don't want to treat you like 3rd graders, but we want to treat it like our viewers are people that are just coming into the hobby, and then also try to make it interesting for the ones that have been here for a long time too. So
Exactly. And I think it's really awesome because there are people of all levels that watch, and if there's somebody that has a question that someone can't answer or we don't have an answer for, then people jump in and they help each other out. And I think that's what it's all about.
absolutely. We try to serve the beginner community. That's what we try to do. But we try to make it to where everybody enjoys it.
Exactly.
But we try to simplify things, including my sump system that I did. The video. Nobody watched the video. How come nobody watched the video? It's almost like it has 0 views. I don't
There
understand
were plenty
that.
of people that watched the video. There were people that told you what you should have done differently in the video.
I know, and I will be addressing that in the follow-up to that video. I regret having said in that video that it was going to be next week, because that pretty much obligates me to put that video up this weekend.
Right.
And I would like to maybe push that a week or two, but I can't do that now. So it'll go up this weekend, and I will address the concerns that people have had about that. One of which was a legitimate concern, and I made a switch because of it, and the other, not so much. I mean, not that the people were wrong. It's a legitimate concern, but it's not something that I'm going to be making a change over it. So Ripple in Water, I'm going to start trying to hold off a sneeze here, says, oh, I really wish you had this queued up so you could read it. I'm fighting a sneeze. That would be so embarrassing to sneeze live on YouTube in front of 500 people.
Everybody sneezes.
Ripple
okay.
in Water said, I won't be able to make it for the live stream, so I'm asking in advance. After quarantining a fish with fin rot, does the tank need to be sterilized? Thanks in advance. I love your channel. A couple of schools of thought here, and then you can chime in because you're the one that treats all of our stuff here. But if you are going to medicate a tank with fish in it that has fin rot, that is a bacteria that the medicine kills. So if the problem goes away, the tank should be free of said bacteria, which would mean no, you don't necessarily need to sterilize. But he said it's a quarantine tank. So why not? If it's a quarantine tank or a hospital tank, that means when you take that fish that's being treated, when you take it out and put it with the rest of your fish, that tank's going to be empty. So sure, might as well clean it out. No big deal. But if it's a community situation, then if the bacteria is gone, the bacteria is gone. There's no reason to disinfect after that.
Exactly.
It's not going to, I mean, at least to my knowledge, I'm not a biologist, but I wouldn't think that it would be like a cold, that if somebody sneezed on something and then somebody a couple days later or however long later comes and touches that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the whole tank is treated with that medication that is said to kill bacteria. The problem's gone. I don't know. I hope that made sense. But, if you can, why not? Why not sterilize the tank? But I guess that also depends on what you mean by sterilize. Like, what do you mean by that? Just doing 100% water change? Yeah, do it. Why not? And then no, there was a couple more here. Was there? Yeah. Excuse me. Leo Contreras. Listen, folks, hopefully you're looking for a question. This is not all about super chats. We certainly appreciate super chats, but when it comes to us answering questions, it's not only people who super chat. Of course, that's a guarantee if somebody super chats. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's just how it is. We're not asking you for it, but if somebody does that, it's a guarantee that we're going to get to the question. But anything goes here tonight. So you want to ask a question, go right ahead. Leo Contreras says, is it bad if I feed my African cichlids a pisto with deformities? I'm assuming he means a pisto fry, like he's breeding, and the spawns result in some freak fry. We've done that. And we fed them to Africans. They weren't a pistos, but we've done that. We talked about it a bunch of times on this channel. We didn't like doing it, but...
What do you mean we?
I didn't like doing it. Sorry, I got my gum stuck in my teeth.
Because I didn't do it.
I didn't like doing it, and she didn't like me doing it. So therefore, we did not like it. But when we were breeding Africans, sometimes you would get fish that had severe deformities that there was no way they were ever going to even live a normal, not even close to normal life. So we would drop them in and walk away and just not even, but it's better to do that circle of life kind of thing than let them suffer. So, is it something that's pleasurable to do? No, but if you've got that opportunity to do it, it takes care of the problem very fast, and it's better than just letting them die. I mean, that's kind of brutal.
Yeah.
So, did you find one?
I did.
Okay.
Oceanic Stars ask, would one female beta and 2 female guppies be okay for a 5-gallon tank? What I've found is that I don't like to put guppies with betas. I have not had success. I just wouldn't recommend it. Also, your 2 female guppies, if you want to give your beta a snack, they might pop out some babies. Even though you only have 2 female guppies in there, they could have been in a tank with males prior to you getting them, so they could still be pregnant.
They were already knocked up when you got them.
Yeah, and if you don't want to see the beta eating the fry, But personally, I would not keep guppies with betas. I've found that the betas, no matter if it's a female or a male, they tend to chase the guppies around.
And nip at those fins, and that's what everybody has the guppies for, is the fins. So, Dave, excuse me, I don't know where I got Dave from. It's Doyle Thomason. Again, before the stream started, I found these so that I was prepared. He says, or I suppose Doyle could be it. Doyle says, how do you deal with what feels like never-ending negativity in the hobby? That's a deep question, because we could go so many different levels with that. It could be that negativity that you're talking about is coming from your own personal experiences, or it could be that it's coming from other fish keepers because you're involving yourself in the social media world of fish keeping. Not here, because everybody's nice here, but in groups and things like that, some people are not so friendly. How do I deal with that? I just stay away from it. That's my honest truth. I don't do social media forums and groups on Facebook and all that, even though I have one that has a lot of members. I think we're at or almost at 20,000 on the Tank Talk Facebook group. I stay away from it because I'm always putting out fires and I can't stand it. The moderators in that group do a great job of keeping control of things. But when you get to where it's 20,000 people, that's hard to keep track of everything. So I just avoid it.
There's a lot of good people in there that like to help each other out, and that's what I like about it. I haven't been as active recently because I've been off Facebook a lot. And
our lives have been so much better because of it.
Yeah. So I just, yeah. But I try to pop in once in a while, but, if I see something that's not right, I'll delete it. But I know the mods do a really good job in there. And there's a lot of really awesome people that I notice that are very active. I see in there a lot.
The other thing with that is, sometimes you may take something as negative that isn't negative. It's just not what you wanted to hear. And I think that there are a lot of people that are very fragile, including me, which is why I stay away from it. But a lot of people whose feelings are very fragile and they go online to get information and they don't hear what they want to hear and they get upset and they say something back to the person, and the person's like, oh, I was just trying to help you out. And all of a sudden it turns into a big thing. So again, that's why I stay away from it. But if you're talking about never-ending negativity as far as your experiences, meaning your fish keep dying, your filters keep breaking, you're this, you're that, the constant work, the constant upkeep and all of that of the aquariums, that's just part of the deal. I mean, Of course, you want to do everything you can do to not kill fish. I
Right,
mean,
of
nobody
course.
wants to do that on purpose. I guess there's some weird people out there. And anyway, but you're going to have growing pains in this hobby just like anything else. I mean, just to use an analogy that has nothing to do with fish keeping, you know how many pieces of super expensive wood I destroyed when I first started woodworking? You go out and buy that really expensive, fancy African wood, and then you bring it home and cut it the wrong way, and it's completely useless. Growing pains. It doesn't matter. I mean, I've started this new thing. I'm going out every single morning. First thing in the morning, I go out. It's 30 degrees, and my nose is running down my face, and it's miserable, and I'm going out there and doing 3 miles every single day. I'm not running the whole thing. It's frustrating. Growing pains. I wish I could run the whole thing, but I'm 46. I'm 50 pounds overweight, and it's just not something I can do yet. I'd really like to be able to run all 3 miles, a nice 5K every morning. That'd be great, but I can't do it. Growing pains. So there are a lot of growing pains in life, period, and you just have to work past them and get through it, and you'll become better for it. Wow.
Very true.
Very preachy there. I didn't mean for it to be
But
that way.
I'm so proud of you for getting up and doing that. As I sip my coffee and
lay in bed with your
and
cozy jammies
wait
on.
for you to come back.
She's supposed to be with me, folks. Again, growing pains. See?
I'm not doing that in the cold like that. I will get on the treadmill. I don't mind that, but or afternoon after I've.
Then how come last week when I said, we should get up early and do it. That way it doesn't interfere with the rest of our day. How come you were like, yeah, that's a great idea?
Because at the time it sounded like a great
She
idea.
lied.
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, after I've been up for a while, I've had my coffee, my breakfast, my lunch, had the day to, be awake. I don't want to get up, brush my teeth, and go outside in the cold.
I don't want to do it either, but guess what? I'm doing it because I'm dedicated and I
And
have...
you know what? Like I said, I am so super proud of you, but I've already lost 40 pounds, so I'm just trying to maintain and, get more fit. So.
Yeah. You just shut me down there. That's fine. You already lost 40. I've lost 15, 16, so
And
shut up.
Like I said, I'm super proud of you. Very proud of you.
So anyway.
But I have a question here.
Okay.
Sorry. Lottie D asks, any stock ideas for a 55-gallon Planet aquarium? And I actually do have some ideas because I think that would be a nice tank for angels.
I thought you were going to say one blue rim betta because that's what I put on the thumbnail.
Well, a heavily planted 55-gallon would be a nice beta sorority, but I'm not going to suggest that for anybody. I don't like to just come straight out and say that's my first thing I think you should do.
Just a little biased.
No, I mean, I think one of the most prettiest tanks, I think, are neon tetras or cardinal tetras, just a major school of them, like 30, 40 of them, throw them in there. Oh, it's beautiful in a Planet tank. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love the angel idea with some tetros, tetros, because we love tetros. Where did that come from? I don't know. I don't even know where that word came from.
There's a question. I have to just answer this really quick. David Flippo asks,
oh, geez, here we go.
is this a fitness channel? What supplement should I get my fish to bulk up?
Creatine, everybody knows that. Jeez, I mean, come on now. High protein and creatine, that's what they need.
David is my son, so if you're wondering why. That's funny to us. We talk fitness with him.
I had to tell him today that it's people like him that are one of the reasons why I do not do social media. Because he was like, yeah, I got some oatmeal the other day and I posted it on Facebook. And I'm like, come on, really? You posted your oatmeal? I mean, come on. Elizabeth Kaiser became a member. We're Supolo. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why this is happening tonight. David Filippo's got me all messed up. Welcome back, or welcome to the team. I think that is a new member, brand new, not even renewing. So welcome to the team. Morgan H gives us the fist bump. Stephen P, 2003, got to get your beauty sleep. I'm sure that's pertaining to the movement of the stream. And sure, that's what it is. I mean, listen, we are very fortunate in the fact that we can get up whenever we want, and you certainly take full advantage of that every single day.
Wow. Thanks for rubbing it in and embarrassing me in front of 728 people.
I mean, she's all cozy. I'm out there running, and my face is dripping with snot, and I'm hyperventilating. Ugh. And I'm freezing with my hoodie on and my beanie and gloves, and she's cozy in her jammies, and she sleeps like this, and it's just
Stop.
So cozy. But yeah, I mean, it does have to do with that. Listen, if we're up till 2 a.m. on a Thursday night, which we will be tonight by the time we wind down, blah, 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 and then we don't get up till late tomorrow, it just screws up the whole weekend. It starts on Thursday, so now you're trying to catch up on Friday night, and we end up, because it's Friday night and we're such huge partiers, we stay up late that night too, and it just keeps going, and it's terrible. So we're going to try to start doing things an hour earlier. Hopefully that means more people will be able to join us and everything will be wonderful. So we'll have to see. But yeah, a lot of it does have to do with beauty sleep. Fish Tank Barn with the $5 keep it up. And he's got the exercise pair, which is cool. And last I talked to him, Mike was starting to get himself on a little regimen too.
That's awesome.
So he was sporting his KG Tropicals shirt, walking around the neighborhood.
That's so cool.
So hopefully, I was going to message him the other day and say, hey, you still up to that? But
Jamie McDonald asked, first day with the new tongue, John?
Apparently.
And then Scumbag Jones asked, will you guys be doing an actual store tour of House of Tropicals? Because that's something we have been wanting to do. It's just not as easy as you think.
Last time we were up there, we spoke to the owner of the store. He's one of the partners that owns the store. And he said, come up here on whatever day. Mm-hmm. And you can come up here like an hour or so before we close. Or I think he said Sunday, because they close a little bit earlier on Sundays. Okay, and come a little bit before we close, and you can, when we close, you can stay and do a tour with nobody in the store.
Right.
And I was like, that's an amazing idea. It's just not something that we've been able to do yet.
I know. And that store is always busy.
Always.
Always.
I went there 2 weeks ago.
I'm so disappointed. You only stayed for 7 minutes. How do you do that?
It was Martin Luther King's birthday. Martin Luther King's holiday. Is that his birthday? It was the holiday. And so they were busy. It was a holiday.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm going to call up there and see if they have what I'm looking for, which was the black lava rock. Last time we were up there, they had a whole big giant box full of it, like big pieces of lava rock. So I called them up. I'm like, hey, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes away. I'm calling to find out if you have it. And unfortunately, the phone just rang and rang and rang and rang. And I said, you know what? It's a holiday. They're busy. They can't get to the phone. I've been there, literally been there, like not at that store, but at our own store. I know how it is. I'm just going to make the trip up there. And I got all the way up there and they didn't have it. I was not very happy. So I did a quick buzz around the store because I was just upset. 2 hours. I mean, I'd have been upset if I drove 15 minutes down the road, but they didn't have it. So I didn't stay around, and I actually went to another store.
It's a good thing I didn't go.
We'd probably still be there because it takes her forever to walk through that store.
I have to look at every single tank.
I went to another store because I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well go to this other one that's 30 minutes down the road. They were closed for the holiday. So it wasn't a good day for me. All to buy rocks. Anyway. UPS are living the dream, re-upped as a member. I see the red.
It's good to see her in here. I haven't seen Katie often. I mean, not as often. I don't see her as much. Probably busy with work. Gosh, I can only imagine.
It has been kind of the busy season. Xanadu, aliens are really, really tempting. I need to move some fishes first. 35 new Tetris today, though.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, the aliens are awesome. And I'm not just saying that because we have them for sale. I'm saying that because they are amazing.
Michaela Moon said, hey, Lisa and John, I have a little beta in a 4 to 5 gallon tank with live plants, and I was thinking of upgrading. Should I? And you know what? If your beta is happy in that 4.5, 5 gallon tank, then he's fine. She's fine. He's fine. You don't have to upgrade. I mean, I would say you're doing a good job having him in that size tank to start off with, and he would probably be fine for the rest of his life in there. But if you wanted to move up for a 10, that would be better, but it's not necessary. But if you wanted to add like tank mates, I would say a 10.
DMND dog, first day with the tongue, don't forget. Looking to stock my new 75 gallon, leaning towards 6 dwarf neon rainbows, 6 pearl gouramis, 10 albino cories, and 14 black emperor tetras. Any thoughts? Awesome. It's going to be heavily stocked. So, you're going to be needing to be on your A game when it comes to maintenance. That's a lot of fish in a 75, but it's probably about the same amount that we have downstairs in our 90 gallon. It's definitely doable. That's going to be an amazing tank to see. Lots of activity. The Emperor Tetras are going to be all over the place.
I miss mine.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So yes, my thoughts are ding, ding, ding. Baby Foods GT, are neon Tetras okay with King Bettas in a 10 gallon tank? And I say, I can answer for both of us. We have not had good luck housing king betas with anything, except for snails.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I completely missed the size tank. What was that again?
10.
Yeah. I mean, we've tried things with the king betas, both of ours, and it's 14 or 15 gallon, and they tend to want their own space.
What was it that I tried to put? We had.
I think you tried one of my guppies, and I said, I don't think that's a good idea.
No, it was you had that one fish that came with the rummy nose that was not a rummy nose, and I put that in there. It was
some other sort of tetra.
Yeah, and I knew within 30 seconds, okay, this is not going to work. And I might have tried the guppies too. I'm not sure.
I think you did, and I said, give me my guppies back.
Yeah, that it didn't go well. But I put them in and I sat there because right now the tank is right there. You can't see it, but it's right there. But when I had this down in the basement, it was over here. And so I'm sitting at my computer and I could watch it, and it was instantaneous. I was like, oh yeah, he's not having it.
A lot of it has to do with how your tank is set up and everyone having their own space, and
King betas, they're amazing on their own. So put a couple of snails in there and just leave it alone. That's all you got to do. Jamie McDonald says, how many guppies in a 55 gallon tank? But he followed it up with an LOL. He gets it. He knows that that's probably the worst question anybody could ever ask. He knows that how many, anything
put one
that comes...
female and one male in there, and you'll have a whole tank full.
Any question that comes through that starts with how many is my least favorite question in this world that I live in, which is exactly why Jamie McDonald said that. He's being a rascal. Go ahead.
Oh,
nothing?
There's plenty. I just didn't.
My brother, he's really not my brother. Owen Hudson says, have a beta with a lump on his head. This one's for you. Not inflamed, scale colored, and seems to be acting normal. Any suggestions? and then he has the big tumor word with a question mark following it. Big bump on the
You
head
know
with
what?
no redness or
It's
nothing.
so hard to know without seeing the fish. It really is. I don't even know how to answer that, because if it is a tumor, then, ugh, definitely not good with those. But
Not many people are.
one thing, if it's possibly open, maybe I would try salt, aquarium salt, up the heat, make sure the water's clean. It's really hard to say, again, just by a description. So.
What she's trying to say in a professional way is it's very difficult to diagnose problems
It is.
when it's just by a
And
description.
I'm not the kind of person that likes to perform surgery on my fish. So if there's some kind of a tumor, I'm not messing with it. I'm just not.
Let it do its thing.
I actually, Bob Kaler received a couple of my rescue fish yesterday, and one of them is a blue rim that had some tumors on it. And we'll see. We'll see how that goes,
Went to a good home, that's
I
for
know,
sure.
I know. He absolutely did go to a good home, and that's why it was okay with sending him to Bob, because, hey, Bob will do what's right.
Because we know that's a good home.
That's a good home.
Brandon Nelson became a member. Welcome to the team. Furloughs Aquatics says an hour earlier. How dare you? LOL, kidding. I'll be there.
We know that.
I mean, and he's on the East Coast too, so it'll be,
Same
8 o'clock
time.
for him. But 8 o'clock on the East Coast, that's manageable.
Yeah.
If he lived on the West Coast and he was like, dang it,
5
I'm
o'clock,
just getting off work at 5.
Yeah, I'm driving home right now.
I get that, but there is a surprisingly high number of people that say, I listen to you in the car when I'm on my way home, assuming from work. So my friends on the East Coast, that's what you can do. You don't need to watch this. We're never really showing you anything. Lisa's good to look at, but you don't want to see me. So just listen to me in your earbuds, in your earbuds or in your car or whatever, on your way home from work or on the train, whatever, you'll be fine. Jimmy Jungle, I'm currently cycling a 10-gallon tank which will house a betta. Will an air stone disturb the water too much? Thank you for being an inspiration to me. The purpose of air stones is to disrupt or disturb the water. So the answer to the question is yes, but that's what it's supposed to do. Now, if you're asking, is that going to be too much for your fish? Could be. Depends on what it is. If you put the biggest air pump that is made
yeah.
on there and it's just violently bubbling, then that could be a problem for the betta. They like water to be nice and calm. But it's not going to be a bad thing unless it's that way. Unless it's like this just violent ripple on the top of the tank, that's going to throw your betta all over the place. They don't want to do that. So
Yeah, that'll just stress them out.
if you have the ability to turn it down, do that. Or get a smaller pump. Or if you're on the fence of whether or not you should even buy a pump, buy one, just get a small one.
Well, I mean, what I used to do.
I know exactly the words that are about to come out of your mouth right now.
What I used to do was take the tubing and tie a knot in it, loose knot, and adjust it a little tighter or a little looser to, determine the flow.
Yep, you tie it so that it basically looks like a pretzel.
Yeah.
And then if you want to slow the bubbles down a little bit, you just pull it and
Yeah.
it tightens it up.
Work for me.
Yep, I think you've got one downstairs like that as we speak.
Yeah.
Gadget Sponge sent in the $5 super chat and said, keep up the great work, you two. You know why he did that, right? Because I forgot to talk about this in the beginning of the stream tonight. I wanted to talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new logo. We have a new logo that I'm not going to show you tonight because we have several and I got to pick which one. But I can't even do it. I can do it. It'll take me some time. I will show you one of them. I'm really excited about it. And the whole purpose for doing this new logo was to be able to do it on a shirt.
Oh.
And I got to get to it here. So you're going to need to find a question so that you can, I can get this. But we wanted to be able to get it on a shirt. The logo that we have, which if you don't know which one I'm talking about, it's down below and to the left, I think. The orange and blue fish is awesome. I love that. It's actually, let me see, how am I pointing here? Who cares? You see it. It's in the corner of the screen, the blue and orange fish. That's an awesome logo. Gadget Sponge actually designed that logo for us. It's amazing. We've been using it since like 2012, but you can't put it on a shirt because it looks like a texture. And they can't do that with silk screening. So I reached out to Gadget Sponge and I said, hey, I need a new one. And I need it to be screen print friendly. And boy, did he put one together for us. So I'm going to find the right one and then I will do the big reveal here tonight on, wasn't even planning this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, in regards to what we were talking about prior to you saying all that, the air pump, Oceanic Stars, I think I've said this one already tonight, but not the same like question or anything, said that she has or he has an aquaculture bubbler wall. I have the Whisper pump on a 5-gallon tank. It has a control valve as well as the check valve. It's pretty good and there's little surface agitation. So that helps.
Absolutely. And the thing is, an air stone with the fine bubbles
Right.
does the job without creating that violent bubbling. I mean, that drives me crazy. I like an air stone to keep the noise level down. So yeah, that's a great point. All right. Are we ready for this? I've got a good one to show here.
Oh.
I'm sitting here looking at a window on my Mac with like 40 different varieties of this. I don't know how this is going to show up on here. Oh, there it is. Wow, it's the whole screen. Let me see if I can adjust that. Wow. I can't adjust it. So guess what? You get the whole screen. This is one of the new logos. It's Brian, if you're still watching, it's not your logo's fault that I can't adjust it. I just can't get to it on this particular software to adjust it. But this is what we're talking about here, folks. You can see it's a departure from what we originally had. I'm looking at you through the G. I see you. Our original logo was supposed to symbolize 2 African cichlids doing the African cichlid dance, the breeding ritual that they do. That's what that was supposed to simulate. But we're not breeding African cichlids anymore. It made total sense to have that. And I'm going to give you a heads up here, folks. If you're ever in the market for logos, this is why you should reach out to Gadget Sponge, because I didn't even ask him for this. He just emailed me one day and said, take a look at this. If you like it, you can have it. And that was that logo with the blue and orange fish. He did it just to be nice. And I've been using that ever since. And I think that was like 2012 or something like that. So everything that I've ever had done as far as graphics and things like that, I have reached out to him. And he's done an amazing job. He designed all of our stuff for channel members, all of that. This one here is quite obviously a beta, and it maintains the same colors, the blue and the orange, which is kind of the King George High School colors, even though theirs is more of a blue and gold. We did the blue and orange, which just looks awesome. And so it is the King George colors, and it says it says keepfishkeeping.com underneath it with the KG
Do you have his
Tropicals.
information to share? Somebody had asked for his email.
His email, and he is not going to have a problem with me giving it out because it's his business after all. It is, I know it's Gadget Sponge. I think it's just Gadget. Let me see, Gadget Sponge Nope, it's not. I don't know what I was thinking. Here's what you do. Go to gadgetsponge.com. That's where you find him. That's the easiest way. And there will be a contact us page and all that on there, plus some of his artwork and stuff like that. So yeah, do that.
And he's so quick. All you have to do is email him. He'll get right back to you.
Oops.
I say that and watch. He only does it for us.
Here is another variety of it. This is just the reverse of the colors. The blue, the orange fish with the blue. I don't know if I like the blue one better than the orange or not. I don't know. But the good thing about this and the reason why we did it this way is so that we can do shirts that are not just black.
Right.
Black is kind of my thing. It's not a Johnny Cash thing. It's just, I don't know. I'm more comfortable wearing black than anything else. But everybody, including us, does black shirts. And so I was watching a video the other day, and I think it was a fitness video. I don't know. It was a bald white guy, and he was wearing, now this is a big muscular guy, so he had like a skin tight shirt on, and it was bright blue. And I immediately paused the video and ran in and showed you. I said, look at this blue. I really like it. And look, it's a bald white guy that's way bigger than me, but and you liked that idea.
Yeah.
So this, having the white outline and everything around it, would be absolutely perfect on a blue shirt.
Everybody's saying they like the blue one better than.
I like the blue one better too. And the blue one will go, oops, why do I keep doing that? The blue one, this one specifically, I asked him for, when he originally sent it, and we have a version of it without the white outline. But I asked him if he could do it with the white outline so that we could do it on a blue shirt. So that's something you might see. You're going to see a shirt come out very soon with this across the front. I just don't know what colors we're going to do yet. Maybe we'll put out a poll and see. It won't be your Wednesday poll. We don't want to waste one of your Wednesday polls, but we'll put out a poll and say, which one do you like most?
Speaking of Wednesday polls, what kind of fish do you guys keep? That was fun.
Ladies and gentlemen that are watching here, there's 800 something people watching right now. I'm willing to guess that all of you probably participated in the poll, but it has made this beautiful woman sitting across from me so happy, the response that has happened because of that poll.
I just love how everybody interacts and they answer, and some people, I thought it was really funny because, I have to put other. If it just has the opportunity to be something else because people want to be different or whatever, I have to put other. And so many people put other ? Like, what else could it be but freshwater, saltwater, or brackish? It's like, but
Yeah,
you never know.
There's those people that keep the fish in mud.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
They keep their fish in iced tea. Yeah, that was an interesting one, and I don't have it pulled up, but there's over 20,000.
Yeah, 21,000.
21,000. That is bananas. Yeah, that's been a beautiful thing. I saw a channel the other day, not a fish channel, that this channel has over 1 million subscribers, and he put up a poll, and it said, well, I was told that polls are really good for the algorithm, so blah, 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 blah. He put out his own poll. This is a channel with 1 million subscribers, so I thought that was pretty cool. You've started a whole thing, even
I didn't
though
start it.
you're certainly
YouTube.
not the person that
YouTube
started it. But yeah, a lot of people were doing polls before us, but you have made it fun. That's what you've done.
Wow.
Noah Trim became re-upped because it's a red fish on there. Welcome back to the team. I'm going to say the name properly because I like to make fun of Lisa any opportunity I can. Oceanic Stars. Also, I'm about 5 days into cycling my tank. At first, I had cloudy water, and now I have ammonia at about 2 parts per million. I also have cycled media should I water change. It is not uncommon for brand new tanks to have cloudy water because the ammonia raising can definitely create algae blooms, and it makes your water look gray. You're looking at one right now. There's no ammonia in that tank, but it's a brand new tank and it's very cloudy. You look at the difference between this one and that one, it's night and day. It's a new tank thing. So water changes are never going to be a bad thing. But what I would say, I don't know what your situation is as far as what kind of fish you have in there or anything like that. But if you do not have fish in there, or even if you do, it doesn't really matter. But you want to get rid of that ammonia, do water only water changes. Don't disrupt the substrate. Don't do your huge filter maintenance. Don't be the guy that I was when I first started out, which was, I'm going to just completely dismantle everything and thoroughly clean everything in the tank. Don't do that because all you're going to be doing is taking 2 steps back. So water only, particularly if you have fish in the tank. If you're doing a fish-less cycle, leave it alone. Let it do its thing. But if you have, I'm trying to read it while I'm talking. I don't see that you say anything about fish being in there. So if you have fish in there, though, you'll want to just do water only because you definitely want to do it. You want to get rid of that ammonia so you don't kill the fish.
Right.
You got one?
Hold on.
Well, this one has nothing attached. It's just Justin Richardson with the 99-cent super chat, and it has a dumbbell.
Aw.
It's a dumbbell. Probably calling me a dumbbell, but I don't think that's it. I think it's more of a, hey, got to get your workout in.
Muhammad Asadullah. Hey, I have really small pellets, yet still my beta spits them out. Help. Try flakes, like crow flake, or even bloodworms. Try freeze-dried bloodworms. There's something. He'll eat something.
You also have to think about if the fish is taking it in its mouth, it very well could be kind of swishing it around in there and getting a little bit of that food in his mouth and then spitting out the hard stuff. Mine does that because Scott, my king betta over here, I feed him either freeze-dried bloodworms, the extreme betta pellets, or krill flakes. And that's what he does with the pellets. He takes them in his mouth and he goes and spits it out. And then you'll see him going like he's chewing basically what's in his mouth, basically processing all of that. And then he'll go and take the pellet again, and he'll do that multiple times. So that could just be your fish's way of
And the best
eating
thing
it.
to do is just put one in at a time to make sure. Because if you're putting in like 5 or 6 pellets at a time, you never know. I mean, he could have ate 1 or 2 and that's all he wanted. And then the rest of them are just getting wasted and making your tank all dirty. And you know, I like to feed them 1 or 2 at a time. That's what I like to tell people.
I have a Hydra outbreak from feeding live baby brine shrimp in my CPD tank that will only eat live baby brine shrimp.
Oh.
Advice to get it out. I've never had to deal with that. The only Hydra I know of is the bad guys on the Avengers. You were about to say something.
Because I have no idea who they are on the Avengers.
Oh. Never heard Hail Hydra? It's like the bad guys on not necessarily Avengers, but Captain America. But I feel horrible. That's not something that I'm familiar with. We've never had to deal with that.
Yeah.
So we can't win them all, folks.
Well, I'm sure that somebody will chime in and...
Oh, I'm sure. I hope so anyway. Do our job for us, folks. Please help us out. Redhead Irish girl became a member. Sorry, the print's really, really small. It was hard to see it. Welcome to the team. Also, Jimmy's Jungle became a member. I'm going to keep going unless you put your finger up to let me know you got a question. How about that?
Oh, well,
Go ahead.
Danny, please don't get mad at me if I say your name wrong. Danny Wesh. I feed Omega 1 beta pellets, Extreme Nano, Omega 1 beta flake, frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp, frozen daphnia, and live baby brine. And I'm assuming that you mean for your beta, and I think that is a really good varied diet.
Wow. Yeah.
just thought I'd throw that out there because so many people ask what's a good thing to feed your beta, and those are some good things.
There's so much available
There really
for betas
is.
and for all fish. I mean, but I think that sometimes you got to have a little bit of patience.
Oh, Weeshi? Sorry, Danny.
And then I see Harry Nixon thinks I skipped him, but I didn't. One of my Corys keeps getting red blotch, but the levels are fine in the tank. It's 55 liters. How many times have I said it? Everybody says that. Everybody says that all the levels are fine, but they could be. They could very well be. I wish I could say, listen, I am not a fish veterinarian. I do not know all of the different issues. Corey's a whole lot better at that than I am. Not the Corys that we're talking about here, but Corey on that Aquarium Co-op channel. You're more well-versed in diseases than I am. Is that something you're familiar with?
I was looking for a question and didn't even hear. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. That immediately to me sounds like injuries.
What was it
Red
again?
blotches. It just says red blotch, which to me sounds like injuries of some kind.
And
it's on a
it's a
Cory cat.
description, so it's something that it's kind of hard to. Is it like on the belly? Like maybe are they scratching themselves? Like maybe the substrate is not
You're asking
ideal
me
for
like
them,
I know.
or is it on top? Yeah.
That's why it's hard. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very difficult. If we can look into a tank and see, I mean, I've been doing this long enough to where a lot of times I can look in and say, oh, that makes total sense. There's that. But from a description, it's so hard and it's so frustrating. I wish there was a way to not allow those questions to get answered. No offense, Harry. Please don't be offended.
Yeah.
Not answered, but asked, because it's just impossible to answer some of those. Some other YouTubers are way better at that than we are, and she's better at it than me.
I mean, my first thought would be to say again my go-to for almost everything that I treat in my own fish room for my own fish is salt, aquarium salt, and clean water, and up in the temperature a teeny bit. That's helps a lot of stuff. Doesn't help everything, but it's always my go-to first. So
Rach says did you have one? Okay.
Mason McFauda, I think I said it right. I am building a 180-gallon any stocking ideas.
That's my other least favorite question.
No, I like this question. I like questions like this because it's like I get to fantasize what I would do if I had an extra tank to do anything with.
You'd put 50 yellow labs in it.
No, I would say make it a colorful discus tank or an African cichlid tank. Those are good sized tanks for those kinds of fish, especially if you want like multiple, like more than 10 or 15.
That's the beautiful thing about a tank that size is that your opportunities are pretty much endless.
Yeah,
I mean, you can
definitely.
almost do anything. There are some.
Don't put a bunch of Oscars in there.
How dare you? I want 3 more in that tank. Oscars are amazing, and that's absolutely what you should do. We'll see which one you like more, me or her. You should put a bunch of Oscars in there and a couple of gold Severums and a big old Pleco. That's what you should do. But Rach says, if you get a wild fish that came in too skinny, do you feed first or quarantine? Love you guys.
You could do both.
Yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't do both. I'm assuming the question means if you're medicating the fish, which with wild fish I don't think is a terrible idea. Can you feed while medicating? Yes, you absolutely can. So my answer to that, and apparently yours would be too, both. Do both. Absolutely do both.
Yeah.
Most people are going to do some type of quarantine treatment to their fish when you're getting wild caught. but they can still eat, so it's not a problem. So yeah, absolutely. Fish Tank
Well-
Barnes says, I loved it cold when I
I
used
thought
to
we
run.
were doing it every other one.
Well, I just didn't want to make it awkward. And this is a quick one. Fish Tank Barnes says, I loved it cold when I used to run. Summer was miserable. I am the polar opposite, Mike. Polar opposite. My favorite thing, one of the favorite things that I've ever done in my life, believe it or not, I used to run a lot and would be going in the middle of summer in the direct heat, direct sun, the sitting down and just sweating all over the place after a long run was one of the most rewarding things ever for me. So I completely disagree with you, Mike. You know I love you, but I disagree with you there. I think it's amazing. I don't hate running in the cold, but I would take the heat 100 times out of 100.
Yeah, the only time I ever ran was in school when they forced you to run, to do that mile, you know that.
I'm not saying I liked it.
It's horrible. I hated it. I hated it so much. I'm just not a runner. I have really bad ankles, and I had asthma growing up, so it was really hard to run and breathe and not fall down and have an asthma attack at the same time. It was bad. So I just walk.
I've run 10Ks. When I was on the police department, I ran a half marathon, didn't run the whole thing. Half. I said half. I've never even attempted a full marathon, nor do I think I ever would. Utmost respect for anyone who's ever done that. But I never liked it, ever. And I don't know that I ever will.
But you did it.
I did it because I needed to. I'm doing it now because I need to. But I'm not telling you I like it. I like when I'm done and I get to sit there and sweat.
I don't mind going out there and walking as much as you have ran. Like, I will get to the end. It just will take me longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get out of the bed first.
Anyways, Williamsburg Aquatics. KG Tropicals Lisa, recommendations for regrowing fins on a beta that got beat up. I would, you know what, fins grow back. It's not the end of the world. You just, again, want to keep your water clean. Put a little bit of salt in there to help with that, that growing process, and they will naturally grow back. I do recommend putting catappa leaves in there because they really help. They're so beneficial to betas, and I don't think everyone, I'm not going to say everyone, I don't think a lot of people realize how important they are, and there's a lot of prevention just by keeping a clean tank and keeping the right things in the tank with your beta. So hopefully you remove those bullies.
Yeah. Sick lid, that's funny. It's sick, S-I-C-K, second word, L-I-D, sick lid. Get it? You get it? And Aquatic Care both became members. Welcome to the team. Sick lid, that might be my favorite name ever on YouTube. I love it. Justin Richardson, add in some body weight exercises on days you don't run. It will keep your metabolism higher all day. I'm already doing that, but thank you. Doing them both because I'm putting in work every day. Doing push-ups, squats, planks, simple things. But yeah, planks hurt. They hurt so bad. Fish question, Nerite or mystery snails in a 10-gallon with 4 crystal pearl danios? You're the snail person.
I like them both, honestly. But mystery's fine. You can do mystery.
Yeah, mysteries. Most people are going to tell you mysteries because they're bigger and they're prettier.
But the Nerite snails will do more work for you. If there's like a planted tank and stuff, the Nerite snails do a little bit more work.
The mystery snails move faster.
They do, but they're not necessarily cleaners. I mean,
but
they
move
are. They
faster.
are cleaners, but they're not cleaners like Nerite snails. So, I mean, I guess it's up to you.
But yeah, Justin. So here's my thing. What I want to get to is the 5K and then 100 push-ups, 100 squats, body weight squats every day. That's what I'm shooting for. The planks, they can go you-know-what themselves because I hate them. They hurt so bad. But that's because I'm very, very much out of shape. Max Simmons, best single fish with personality in a 40 breeder. Daggone it. I just wish you could have said 75 because I would have told you, look, right there. Right there. That guy right there. But I don't want you to put those in a 40. Personality. I mean, when I think of personality in fish, I immediately think betas and Oscars.
But a 40 for a beta it's a little large.
That's a little. And he said single fish, just one.
Yeah, I mean, but that would be one lucky beta, that's for sure.
Yeah. Those are my immediate go-tos because there's a lot of beautiful hundreds of thousands of beautiful fish that could go in a 40 gallon. But, again, we go to angels, not the most in personality. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous. I love them. We've got them.
But some fish do better in groups and they don't want to be single. So.
Yeah. So I tell you what, I'm going to put a betas.
What about one Severum?
I think they are going to do better with little tank mates too. Look at that little guy. See, he'd be so bored, so lonely if he was in there by himself. And they're, again, beautiful. I don't know that they have that. When Max asks about personality, I'm assuming he means like, they're looking at you and they're going, ooh, and they're going crazy like Oscars do. I don't really see that with Severums.
Andrew K. says, or asks, what types of shrimp are good tank mates for betas? Well, okay, so in my experience, Amano shrimp are great. And the reason why I say that is because I find them to be hardy, and I don't have problems with them with my betas. I don't have any problems with them. Even in the sororities, I have the Amano shrimp. But any other shrimp, I'm not as good with. I'm just not. That doesn't mean you won't be good with them, but I just know that I've had the best success rate with the Amano shrimp.
Amano shrimp are almost like the guppies of shrimp. They're, in our experience, the easiest to keep. Now, a lot of people will probably say cherry shrimp, which I don't know that I could argue with that, but the Amanos are bigger. They're awesome. They're not as beautiful as cherry shrimp and the blue and all of that, but they're really cool looking, and they're constant workers, and they're all over the place, and they're big enough to be able to fend for themselves against a betta that might even be angry, because some bettas are. So yeah, Amanos all day long. Mike C, I put slate in my African cichlid tank. I used 100% silicone to stack them, let it cure for 48 hours, but it started turning yellow, so I removed it. That's really weird. Here's an even weirder question, Mike C, if you're still here. Did you use white silicone? Because I just can't imagine clear silicone turning yellow. At least that's not something that I've ever experienced. That's a weird one. But white, if it was white, I could see that, with the tannins in the water and stuff. I could see that. But clear, I just don't know how it would turn yellow unless it got something on it while it was still curing. I don't know. That's weird. It's not even really a question. It's just, hey, this is what happened and I'm upset about it. So I feel you, Mike. That's odd. And let me just say, Emily Escalante, I nailed that name. Welcome to the team. She became a new member.
Priscilla MK Art. I added art.
It's not in there anymore.
Priscilla MK. Amanos are secret alien ninja special agents, savage and hardy when needed. LOL.
It's true. Like I said, they can fend for themselves in there. Elizabeth Welch just wanted to say my son, 2 years old, is now obsessed with bettas.
Jack.
He loves
He's
your
so
betta
cute.
videos, and we have to watch before bedtime. Money for betta videos.
It's so funny. She's posted the last couple of days him actually watching on the big TV in the living room. It's so cute.
I am filming a betta.
Yeah.
I am filming a betta video either tomorrow or Saturday, and you're supposed to be filming one
Yes.
on Saturday. They will not be released week after week. There will have to be some time in between so that we're not only uploading betta videos, but yeah, there's a couple of them coming out. Hopefully, Jack, you said his name's Jack?
Jack.
Hopefully Jack likes my betta video as much as he does Lisa's, but if he doesn't, I understand.
He likes you.
It's an experiment because all of the betta videos are you. We're going to try one with me. Why not? But it's a fun one. It's not a technical, it's a fun betta video. I'm still not used to saying betta. Are you ready?
No.
Okay. Heath Weitzel. How can I safely change substrate in my tank without a crash? Don't. It's tough. It's really, really tough. The absolute best way to do it would be to completely remove the fish out of there, which I know you probably can't do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be asking. Just in case something does happen, you don't have a bunch of dead fish. But it is difficult because there is so much bacteria in that substrate. Plus, when you remove it all out, you're going to be rummaging up all of that stuff. It's going to go everywhere. It can cause problems. So it's really, really tough to do. I actually did a video on it, switching from gravel to sand, but I didn't have fish in there. And so not having the fish in is the easiest way. If you have somewhere where you can temporarily put the fish so that you can do the swap and then try to, monitor things, see what's going on. And if everything's okay, put the fish back in. But if you don't have that option, one of the ways, this could be really difficult to do, but one of the ways would be do it halfway. Figure out a way to kind of separate the tank halfway down, remove half of the substrate, replace it with the new, and then a couple of weeks later do the other half. And the reason why I say put something down the middle is so that you don't get them all mixed up together, especially if you're like pulling out sand, which goes everywhere. That would be a good way to do it. So,
Well, this one caught my eye.
It must be something saying nice things about you.
No.
I don't blame you. I like those too.
Okay, anyway. Danny Weishi. The new orange glow beta are bred from bluefin cellophane like the green are bred from redfin. I have one of each and I really like them. I get why people are against glow beta though. Interesting. See, I have not seen the new. I have not seen those.
I haven't seen those either.
So that's interesting. I'm going to have to check this out.
I think we're really the only ones that ever really talked badly about glowfish.
Oh.
So if there is a movement of people talking negatively about them, I hope that it's not something that we created, but I think a lot of people miss the point of what we said about them. It's not the fish that we have a problem with. It's the spectacle of it and the not forcing people, but enticing people to impulse buy fish that don't know what they're doing when it comes to those fish. That's the problem that we have with them. But they're cool fish. Of course they are. Even the glow bettas are cool. Are we going to get some? No, but they're cool. Aquatic Care with a 99-cent super chat and no text whatsoever. I Love KG says, "Hi Lisa, how you doing, hotness?" Oh, I guess you too, John. Thank you for at least acknowledging me.
Thank you.
And nowhere near the hot level of her, but thank you for at least saying my name. And thank you for loving us. It's still kind of weird that the name is I Love KG. I'm one of these days we're gonna figure out who that is, whether it's Bob. I feel like it's Bob.
Maybe it's Kevin Green's girlfriend.
Could be.
Could
sure.
be. See? Yeah.
Anyway, Sin City Nerm and Ariel C. Ariel C re-upped, but I believe Sin City Nerm is a brand new member. Welcome to the team.
Wow. I think that's probably definitely has to be someone that likes the co-op.
That is a co-op thing. Multi-Tank Addiction with the $2 and says hashtag lurker mode. I got a trivia question for people. You will receive no prize whatsoever
Thank God.
for this, but just hearing me say hashtag reminded me I watched a movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm going to have to make sure I pull the chat up here. I watched it last night and it reminded me of why I love this movie so much. One of the lines in the movie goes like this. I'm going to have to make a fart sound, okay?
Oh, Lord.
It goes like this. Hashtag drive-by. What movie is that from? You want me to do it again? Hashtag drive-by.
You're so
Who is that?
12.
It's a funny scene. I'm 46. I will always laugh at a fart sound. It's always going to be a thing. So, but seeing Chris put their hashtag lurker mode, it just reminded me of that. Hashtag drive-by. Somebody's got to get it. It's one of the funniest lines in that movie. It's not from a movie you would expect it to be from either. There it is. I think Scott Haley was the first one. It's indeed from Deadpool. Absolutely.
Alrighty. So Melissa Ryan said you should get a Glow Beta and give it a better life. Well, I will not go out and buy a Glow Beta, but let me put it to you this way. If someone had one and they said, I don't want it anymore, and they didn't have a home for it, I would take it in. Absolutely. So there's that.
I'm so glad there's so many people that are saying Deadpool. Somebody said Borat. That sounds like something that would be in Borat, but no, it is.
Tia and Aqua said, John, I let one too. Back at you.
What was the name of the person that he performed that drive-by on? Come on. Now we're getting into the heavy trivia here. And I mean her nickname. I don't mean somebody said it has to be Gone with the Wind. That's hilarious. Get it? Because it's a fart sound. Gone with the Wind. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jill S says specifically, call me Jill S because Jill, the last name is long and my old eyes just can't handle it. New tank with filter run in established tank a few days before the build. How many days of good test readings before you would add a fish? So the thing is, if you hook up a filter onto an established tank for a few days, that really has not had the real opportunity to come to life yet. So I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not really enough opportunity to do what you wanted it to do, which would be to pick up all of that bacteria and then transfer that bacteria over into your new tank. So a new tank that does not have an ammonia source is always going to test good. That's one of the most confusing things about this hobby. And I'm actually doing a video about that with the tank that you see behind Marie. I am going to do, yes, another cycling video, but I'm going to do it in real time, which means it's going to have to be recorded over several weeks. Hopefully that will help explain it for you a little bit better, Jill, but understand that a brand new tank is always going to have good test results. So there you go. I hope that makes a little bit more sense anyway.
Legend Fish Tanks asks, what is the best cichlid for 29, like a dwarf cichlid? And I would say Rams.
Convicts all day long. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Rams. Why would you say convicts?
Because I want to start a movement. I've started a movement with Oscars. I want to start a movement with convicts.
All right. Still, I would say Rams.
I don't think anybody's guessed her name yet. I'm looking because it's the important part. A couple of people said Negasonic Teenage Warhead. No, it's a good guess, but no, that's not who he performed the drive-by on. I can't see anybody. Anyway, her name's Al, Blind Al. Somebody said Al. It's not Al. It's Owl, isn't it? Or is it Al? I don't know. But it's, yeah. So somebody did get it. Joe knows. Joe knows. Got it.
Oh.
I think it is Al. Why did I say owl? I don't know. But yeah, there you go.
Dragon Jurassic
child.
Master. Dragon Jurassic Master asks, can you put a glowfish in a regular tank without black lights? And the answer is yes, and they would probably be happier that way.
Yes, they would. It
And
done
Rocco's
skipped on
Fish
me
Room
again.
said, I got my convicts. LOL.
Convicts are cool, and they get a bad rep. So I think I'm going to start a movement. I just have to get a tank for them. IHSP's Tank Tribe with the hearts. That's a very nice thing. Christina Knight became a member. This is exciting. 12 new members tonight. Priscilla MK, without the art, says, Lisa looks fabulous as always.
Aw, thank you.
AG1EL, that's a confusing name. I sub to the Spiffing Brit, who did that poll. He goes well with nice cup of Yorkshire tea. I want to say that you helped me set up and cycle. What? Did that poll. Spiffing Brit. Oh, no. No, okay. I think what he's talking about is I said a channel with 1 million subscribers said I should do this poll. No, it was the channel called Obese to Beast. And I think he's just shy of 1 million subscribers. It's a kid from California that used to be like 400 pounds and now he's a bodybuilder. And he's just an amazing person. And I watch his videos all the time. That's the one that did that. Yeah. And before you ask, I don't know why I don't just use this hand. I just reach the hand over to scratch my head. I don't know why I do that. I'm such a stupid person.
Chase White asks, what's in the tank behind Lisa?
Rocks.
Water.
It's clear water. There's nothing. There is going to be a whole bunch of yellow labs next week. Should be either a week from today or a week from tomorrow. Those fish are going to come in, and I'm super, super excited. Yes, I'll be doing a video about that too. I just got to figure out a way to do a video that is getting fish and have it be entertaining, because I'm just tired of the driving down the road and getting footage of the road, and then, you know, the whole thing. Everybody does it. All YouTubers. I'm not talking about fish tubers. I'm talking about everybody does it. We've done it 1 million times. I'm so sick of that. So I got to figure out a way to make a getting fish video entertaining. I'm going to try to do that with the yellow labs. Furlough came in again. I used to love running before I broke my ankle. Now, if y'all see me running, you might want to follow suit. I've heard that. I've heard a lot of people say, if you see me running, it's time to go. So,
Eric,
yeah.
I broke my ankle, so I totally feel you. I've got a plate and 12 screws in my ankle.
I had spinal reconstructive surgery, and I still run.
I had 4 children. I don't know. It just sounded good.
That pretty much trumps all arguments right there. I have 4 kids.
Anyway.
I get it.
Wait, I just saw one. Lucas W., why do my 2 female beta chase each other a lot? Well, if you have a tank with just 2 female betas in it, they're going to chase each other because there's only 2 of them. So you either want to separate them, which is probably the best thing to do, is just separate them and let them have their own tank.
That is betas doing what betas do.
Yeah, but
It's unfortunate,
having 2 females is not good. I mean, I myself would only have a tank with 5 or more, but I would definitely just like look into, I would do more research before I put multiple betas together. And right now, I think if you want to save the both of them so one of them doesn't kill the other one, I would just separate them and let them have their own tank.
Keith Contrary is a rascal. He said, been watching DIY videos and plan on building my own 800-gallon plywood aquarium. My question is, How many guppies can I keep in it? 4. You can put 4 in there. You don't want to overstock a tank that size. So I would just stick with maybe 4. 1,000. 800. Wouldn't that be funny? I would love to see an 800-gallon guppy tank. I think that would be incredible. We've got 10 minutes left, so you got to let me get through these. I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, even though I really am.
Well, I like answering questions in chat.
Okay, and you certainly can, but let me get a little bit more of a head start on here. Anthony Norse, hope I'm saying your name right, should try a top 10 series of different fish tanks sent in from your subscribers/members. That's an idea.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea. Maybe we will. I think that would be fun. But it would have the potential to make a lot of people mad too, because they'd be like, why didn't you pick mine? And then, and they're like, well, you could do another one, and it could start a whole thing. But I really like the idea, so we'll see. Buffalo Photo, 1 George and 1. Okay, wait. Are George and Jenny Bettas each have a fairly large flower fan shrimp in their tanks, and everyone gets along? Flower fan shrimp? That's not one I'm familiar with. You familiar with that? Wah, 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 wah. A flower fan? Is everything okay?
My aunt just messaged me.
Okay. I'm not familiar with flower fan shrimp. So that's a family member texting her, so it kind of takes precedence. Sorry for the confusion. Melissa Jeswald, not to be a bummer, but can I have good vibes and hope for my cat, Jax? He has diabetes, and today was the first day I could not get him to purr. He's been to the vet 3 times, no luck. All right, now listen. I know it's a dog and a cat thing, but I grew up with a dog that was diabetic, and she was diabetic for like 7 years. So it's not a death sentence. So there is your hope, because that dog lived perfectly fine for a very, very long time after she was diagnosed. She would have seizures. My mom would have to put K-Rose syrup like down her throat. It was actually quite traumatizing to see as a child. But my mom saved that dog's life about 150 times because that's what you had to do. She was low on insulin. She would have a seizure, and my mom would have to put K-Rose syrup. It's like a really sweet syrup. It's a sweetener, and it snapped her right out of it every single time. So, Melissa, it's hopefully very treatable, and everything will be fine for you.
Yeah, because Jax is so cute. He looks just like honey.
Oh.
He does. He's adorable.
Okay. Whip's World with the poop. He's the only one to poop on us tonight. We usually get pooped on by a lot of people. He's the only one to poop on us. Fish Whisperer, love you guys and appreciate all the info you provide. We love you too. Thank you so much. Keith Contrary again just got a 29-gallon to go with my 60-gallon. Thinking of getting extra tank for quarantine/hospital. Would 10-gallon work for such short-term use, or do I need a 20-gallon? No, 10-gallon is perfectly fine. As long as you're not buying Oscars that size to quarantine, you're perfectly fine. 10-gallon, it's the most versatile. You can use it as a hospital tank. You can use it as a quarantine tank. It's perfect. Yes, absolutely do that. Benjamin Malik, best place to get high-quality Oscars. Well, the place that I bought my albino and regular tiger is no longer in business, so I can't recommend that you go there. Oh, yeah. The other one that I got, the red, who is spectacular, and here he comes right now. Let me get my head out of the way. Look at that. Look at him. Oh, he is a stunner. He came from a shop called Schools of Fish in Richmond, Virginia. They do not ship online. I don't know where you live, Benjamin. So I've been looking around a lot online for Oscars, and what I've found is there's quite a few places that sell them, but they're like rare, exotic Oscars, because Oscars if you're gonna sell an Oscar online, it's gonna be that big, because you're not gonna ship a fish that size. I mean, you can, but it would cost you way too much money. So people aren't selling 8-inch or 10-inch albino tiger Oscars online.
You can sometimes find them at your local Petco or PetSmart, because people go drop them off when they realize they can't take care of them in their 10-gallon tank, and they end up giving them to Petco or PetSmart to put in their 10-gallon tank to resell to somebody else. So sometimes you can find them. And you know what I've done before, like when I went to Petco back in the day, I would tell them, if anybody returns a beta for some reason, here's my number, call me, I'll come get it. And you can leave your number with them and just let them know if someone brings one in. I'm not sure if it's going to be high quality, but it would be a larger Oscar.
And there's also the asking your local fish store, your mom and pop. A lot of times they can special order specific types of fish for you. So that red, I'm trying to find him again, that red Oscar that I have came to me that size. I paid $50 for him.
But that's not bad.
No, it's absolutely not. I mean, he's an 8-inch fish, and he's absolutely stunning for $50. I thought it was an actual bargain. I would have paid double that. But, you know, I basically started Facebook messaging all the shops around me. Hey, do you have any? And he just so happened to have that fish. So, but yeah, like you said, the big box stores sometimes get them donated. Your mom and pops, sometimes they'll have them. But they can special order them for you if you can't get them elsewhere. Mattman B pooped on us, so that's the second poop. Wyatt's Aquatics, we've only got 3 minutes left, became a new member. Welcome to the team. Delana Silva with the $10 #1 fan super chat. We love Delana, our first customer. Never forget that. Priscilla MK, she felt bad, so she said, you look good. You look okay too, John.
She's so sweet.
Tierra Johnson, when medicine say remove carbon, does that mean I should turn off my filter for how long? No, what it means is if your filter has the replaceable filter cartridges that have the carbon in them, you'll want to remove that. The reason for it is because the carbon will completely neutralize that medication. So you're basically dumping the medication in there. It's doing nothing. Think about Lloyd Christmas squirting the Banaka out of his mouth on Dumb and Dumber. Same kind of a thing. It's like, why are you doing that? It's not doing anything. Your medication would be the same thing. You'd be putting it in there. The carbon would instantly be neutralizing it. So you're basically throwing money down the drain. So if your filter has those little blue cartridges that you can replace, pull that out and just let it run. It's going to be fine for a few days so that the carbon does not kill it. But keep your filter running. You don't have to turn the filter off. And if you're using something like a sponge filter or something like that, that obviously does not have those cartridges in it, you got nothing to worry about. Daraj Rathi, I'm probably saying that wrong. Combination of guppy and neon tetras. Number in a 10-gallon tank. Here it is again. And this one is serious. It's not a rascal. Why won't you go with the number 12 total? 12.
In a 10?
In a 10, sure.
But you're going to tell somebody 1 fish per inch.
I've never in my lifetime ever once said 1 fish per inch. That's never come out of my mouth, ever.
Per gallon.
How dare she?
1
inch per gallon. I've never said that. Never said that either.
Whatever.
12, combination of 12. So 6 guppies, 6 neon tetras, you'll be fine.
I don't know.
It's a lot, but you'll be fine.
But I would go with 6 male guppies just so you don't have to go with the breeding.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or just 12 neon tetras. That's an awesome looking tank. Bonnie Eden, have you heard of a product out of Canada named Supratech? It's a garlic-based solution. Supratech? I'm using it now on a couple of gouramis. I have not heard of that product. I'll have to look it up. Whips World and Xanadu Do both pooped on us. The second poop from Whips World. He's a pooping guy today. And Xanadu Do, first poop, but second super chat, I believe.
Did I tell you Whips World got a tank just like ours? Did I say that last week? I don't remember. No, our beta tank. He got one
Oh.
just like us for his.
It's a great tank.
Yeah.
Ciclid with the $20. I love the Ciclid. He gave us a $20 super chat because I said that's probably one of my favorite names
that-
I've ever seen on YouTube.
That's nice.
With the pair saying thanks for being you. It's 10:30 exactly.
Aw.
Lefty3213A. I didn't say lots of numbers. Sorry I missed the stream. Y'all was helping Mom. You always got to help Mom. You never have to apologize
His
for
mom
that.
has been sick. She's
Gotta
been
help
sick.
Mom, and there's no
Hope
apology
she's
necessary.
feeling better, Lefty.
I love KG. My name is Joseph from Sutherland Springs, Texas. Listen,
Oh,
listen, Joseph.
cool.
I could tell you right now that my name is Christopher from Paducah, Kansas. And how would you know? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He's just telling you, so.
Joseph, that's awesome. But I still think it's Bob. And I think Ciclid Man 09 was Bob last week. And I think it's always Bob. Whenever anything crazy happens, it's always Bob. Anyway, on that note, no Bob tonight. I wonder where he was.
He's I love KG.
That's right. Yeah, he's here. 2 super chats. I am going to say goodbye, but I'm going to let Lisa sign everything off tonight because it is 10:31 and we are impeding on another YouTuber's time.
Right. Yep. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope everybody who is in the northern states or wherever is staying super warm because it sure is cold out there. And anybody in like Florida, I'm jealous. But anyways, I hope all of y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next Thursday for our next stream. Hopefully at 8 o'clock though.